everybody, I am Patrick Sciacca, Editor-in-Chief of Yachting Magazine. We are here today at the Miami Boat Show, and I'm with Tom Slikkers, CEO and President of Tiara Yachts, and we're here to bring you the brand new Tiara Yachts EX60. Good day, Tom.
Hey, how are you?
Awesome, and this is an amazing boat. We had a chance to go through it earlier. But for people who may not be familiar, could you tell us a little bit about the EX60's origin story and kind of the mission statement for this boat?
Yeah, the origin story was we could see that there was a lot of things that were beginning to shift in the lifestyle of boating again. So we have a lot of Tiara customers that we've sold boats to over a long period of time. And we could hear in their language and what they were asking for that things were really beginning to shift. And many of our customers were saying, hey, we day boat 80% of the time. We bring our kids and we bring our grandkids and we go out, we find our great favorite spot to drop the hook, and we spend the day swimming, playing, eating our favorite snacks. And occasionally we go for a 1 week or a 2 week cruise. And so it really kind of spawned us to have a conversation of, if we were going to build something, what would it be? We took a lot of the best features of our LS outboard series that's been extremely successful. So all of that day boating entertainment space and capability, and we blended it with the best of all of our inboard Tiara experience that we have to give us ultimately what we call an EX. And EX, people go, well, what does that stand for, EX? And it's like, well, excitement, explore, expedition, any of your favorite X words. It's just a really super flexible platform.
You had mentioned flexible, and it was one of the words that I thought about when I stepped on board, and the other one was thoughtful and flexible. And it starts for me when we look at the cockpit.
Yep.
Now, within that space, owners can actually do a lot of modifications with multiple modules that you offer. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, during the design phase, we had kind of drawn up 4 different iterations of what the cockpit could be. Mm-hmm. And when we kind of tested our customer field, they all got chosen. It kind of pushed us into thinking, how do we have some flexibility, meaning we give the customer a choice of choosing an arrangement that gives them a boat cockpit that's going to fit their lifestyle the best. So there's basically 4 different iterations of a cockpit layout that a customer can choose, and we will build the boat that fits that arrangement.
And so the module we see here is which module?
This would be like the social module. This gives them the best dining capabilities, so you can kind of have your biggest group of friends and eat outside, eat inside, kind of like our social iteration. We have an adventure module. Mm-hmm. We have like a summer kitchen module. It's all catering to what's most important for the customer.
But it's not just the modules, you also can expand this cockpit space.
Yeah, so we have the fold-down terraces with the built-in boarding doors. And when those terraces fold down, that gives us another good 5 feet of expansiveness on the deck.
So you have the increased real estate in the main section of the cockpit, but then you also have then an upper section.
This upper section is really kind of an al fresco area. It's underneath the overhang of the hardtop. It does give you a great spot to ride when the boat's underway, fully protected from the wind and the elements, and very comfortable. But again, when it's fully opened in the back here, it really does create a good transitional space from inside the salon to being outside.
When we stepped inside, you had mentioned a lot about the interior look of the boat and why we're not seeing cabinets where we normally think we would see them, the way that the glass is creating both function and form. So could you tell us a little bit about the interior design and why we see what we're seeing?
So I'll start with the glass. The glass is great visibility, and a lot of people like that. It really gives you great panorama when you're either running the boat or when you're at dock, being able to see. They have the push button, blind, so you can close it off for privacy in the evening. But the best part is that a lot of ladies were going, I've had your product before, you've had upper cabinets before, but I'm too short, I can't reach them, I can't get at it. So the storage becomes, not as useful for us in our case. And then the guy goes, well, in truth, I liked having the cabinet, but I really didn't, because when it came time to creating great sight lines, it was always in my way when we were docking. Mm-hmm. So on both accounts, I would say we basically nix the upper cabinets, and then challenging the design team to go create storage so that we can comfortably store all of that without resorting to overhead cupboards. So it really helped keep a clean line in terms of the interior design. It really facilitated a good transitional space from inside to outside for entertaining and hosting couples and family. And ultimately, it really creates great visibility when you're trying to be in the docking position.
You mentioned the docking position. That's kind of another neat feature on this boat. So tell us a little bit about the helm station layout and the door and why the joystick is where it is.
Yeah, the helm station was really designed around an IPS type of a mindset with a joystick. We knew we were going to have that, but we knew that needed to have some flexibility in terms of where that was going to be potentially positioned. So the armrest has the ability to move fore and aft. So if you're seated and you're underway, you can have it exactly ergonomically correct. But when you go to a docking mode, everybody wants to have great sight lines aft. And so now you want to extend that armrest, makes the joystick very comfortable to have in your hand, and you have immediate sight lines aft. Of course, you can look through on any of the corners. And again, we have cameras built in that are standard that allow you to have great visibility if you need it in spots that are tighter.
And you also don't just have a side door that brings you to the side deck, you have very deep, wide side decks, which make it a very safe operation for the helmsman and for whoever's line handling.
Yep. Yeah, the demographic we know is going to be a little older, and a lot of times those people are having to carry a fender, blinds, things like that, in addition to trying to safely get forward. The deep recessed walkway really makes that super comfortable, and the real bonus for a lot of them is we created storage up front for fenders, cleaning material, dock lines, and all that to be safely stored up front. So when it is a docking scenario, they can easily get up there, but they also have the ability to have all the things they need. Plus, it's an awesome entertaining space and a completely different social zone.
Another interesting feature when we come up here to the bridge deck space is the companion seating, which is also a very thoughtful, intentful move on your part.
Again, listening to the customers that we were interfacing with, we put the two largest skids that we can find on the market, and we purpose them into that kind of helm and companion mode. So we have 4 very comfortable seats facing forward, and everybody has same visual sight lines looking forward when the boat's underway. And it just makes everybody feel like they're part of the journey. And of course, we have a full 22-inch screen over on that side. So any of the Garmin information that they want to push over and see, they can put the chart map up, they can put depth finder up, they can put any of that in.
What are the accommodations layout below decks for when they are out on their
sojourn? So we have a 3+2 arrangement down below, full beam master, and then we have a great VIP suite, and then there's a third suite that has twins that can also convert into a double. But everything is spacious, everything's comfortable, everybody's got great storage and hanging space, and you won't feel like you're camping or roughing it. It's a Tiara, so it needs to be luxurious.
So tell us a little bit about what the engine package is and what kind of performance you're seeing with the boat.
So it's the D13 engine package from Volvo. IPS 3s, so that's the big IPS unit. It's just an amazing boat. I mean, it gets up on plane, it jumps, leaps out of the water. It has a very agile feel for being as big a boat as it really is. And fully loaded, full, meaning full fluids and extra gear that we put on board because that simulates what a customer would do. In a full mode capacity, we're just over 40 knots.
Wow, that's
wide open.
That is some impressive performance especially if you have the chance to step on board this boat because it is a massive.
Yeah, it's a big boat. So
it's a
17-foot beam, and when she's fully loaded, she's pushing right at 70,000 pounds. And so at full speed, we're at 71 dBs underway, full speed, and that's extremely quiet. I would ask you to find a car that's that quiet.
So you had mentioned a little bit about the quietness of this boat, and some of it was you had moved some of the mechanicals out.
So one of the big shifts for us was moving to a chiller system. So the chiller system allows us to move, the primary unit, which is a central unit for the entire boat. It allows us to move that in the aft part of the boat in the mechanical space. And all that does is it just reduces the noise But at the end of the day, it's very, very quiet, and overall it improves that luxury feel.
Oh, it definitely has an upscale feel from the time you step aboard the cockpit until the time you go through the rest of the boat. You know, you just take a really close look around and everything is finished at a very high degree.
Yep. Yeah, we're very proud of what we've been able to deliver to the marketplace, and we're excited to get some Tiara customers into this.
So Tom, if people wanted more information on the EX60 or any of the other Tiara models, what's the best way to do that?
They can go to tiarayachts.com, and we've got video footage on there, photographs, buyer guides, all kinds of information, and including performance guidelines as far as the boat's performance and fuel range and all of that. So everything's there for them.
Oh, that's fantastic. Tom, thank you very much for your time. I really
appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you for staying with us aboard the Tiara EX60. This is Patrick Sciacca signing off from the Miami Boat Show, but stay tuned for more, because more is coming.